What's going on, YouTube? Syntax Collector here with another review. Been gone for a week. I was vacation on a mountain bike trip. Came back to a bunch of boxes. We got the AWE AW Striker with crankcase. This reminds me of, very reminiscent again of back in the day where you had your figure over here and the see-through plastic. Looks like we got a bridge layer right here. So that'd be kind of cool if they could do a bridge layer, non-HasLab. Looks like we got some more AW Strikers over here. Everybody named Mama's trying to do like AW Striker Doom Buggies. Gridiron's got one. So this is 171. And then Ramen. Is it Ramen? No, Fans Toys or Fans Hobby has like a Doom Buggy AW Striker looking thing. Theirs looks pretty good. I was debating on 3D print my own as well because this looks cool, but it's not quite like the original to me. But we'll take a look and compare. So let's crack it open and see what we got. So we have this. Normally it doesn't have a hole in the package. That's interesting, or in the accessory box. But we got this box with 2 bags of accessories. And then we've got, looks like we got decals and instructions. We've got the figure crankcase over here. And then we've got the AW Striker here. And more accessories or something over in there. But let me break all this out of the box. So this should be pretty easy to put together since it looks like it's already pretty much all put together in the box.
Catching Cobra's really tough, you know. And Cobra's up to something that would G.I. Joe.
Cobra! Cobra blew up the bridge! Bridge layer to the rescue! The AW Striker will catch him!
Let's take a look at crankcase first. Yeah, this is looking good. Very reminiscent of the OG from '85. So crankcase came with the AW Striker back in '85, and I actually have, as you saw, the figure and the AW Striker. AW Striker was actually one of my first vehicles as a kid back in '86 when I started collecting. Probably because it was cheap, but here's the original AW Striker. That's not the one from my childhood, though. I got back into Joe's. Got rid of most of my collection as an adult. I got some back, but let's get into the accessories. The only accessory he had, I believe, was a pistol in his helmet. So they modernized the helmet. I don't know why this fits so funny, but yeah, they modernized the helmet to match that one. And I believe he had a pistol, but I don't have, if he came with a pistol, I don't have it. But this one's got pistol, the sidearm. Just gonna go here. And the AW Striker showed up, I believe, quite a bit in original ARAH. And yeah, this holster actually has, they're getting better with putting more details on accessories too. So this sidearm leg holster actually has like a snap-in. And then they gave him a knife, which is gonna go right here. And then this is a reuse, looks like, from the ferret. Yeah, the ferret driver. So they gave him this whole like Baja looks. They gave him this and then goggles. So you could essentially give him like the whole desert vibe look. Which now I'm debating if I want to keep the AW Striker or try to fit it on my shelf, because I have this Doom Buggy called the Swift that Tanner 3D made. But I don't think you can. You should be able to put like Ideally, it's gonna let me. There you go. You got the goggles with the helmet. Give them the whole like Doom buggy go. So they really went all out with the accessories here. Getting it all off should be fun. There you go. So they gave him that. And then for some reason they gave him binoculars, which is reused from Duke. Gave him binoculars, I guess, to see off in the desert. The modern helmet I showed before. And they gave him like a random off-road hat, which I probably won't keep. It's doofy. And they gave him these scarves, like one to go over the face, kind of like Wild Wild West type thing, and one just to go around the neck. Probably won't keep those either. And then for some reason they gave him like a random Yojo coffee mug, so maybe that can go in the All Striker. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I'm digging the similarities here to the OG from '85. So they gave him darker boots. They put a knife over here on the classified one. Darker pants. They kept the leg holster. Just changed the color. Black gloves. And look, it looks like I got a watch on the OG. Just made a black watch. The quarter sleeves, got the sleeves rolled up right above his elbows. Same color, like tannish undershirt. And then they just made like the vest here to match. Gave him a different webbing gear and put a comm device or walkie-talkie. So they've gotten rid of those doofy comm devices. Now they're going more with walkies. This would be a cool vest. I do like this little vest. And then the belt looks like it has some sort of like eagle or bird on the belt buckle from reproduced from the OG. And then yeah, the belt looks similar to the original. Hair color is different. But again, the part over here like the original. Mustache, the facial looks different. They just gave him darker hair. And reduced similar from the original. So yeah, they did a good job of, instead of having pockets on the front, he's got pockets here on the side. So you definitely tell that's crankcase. As far as the All Striker, got a few parts here. Looks like we've got a seat to put in here, which is obviously very different from the original. It gives that 3-seater look. And then we've got this cage here. Got two holes back here. And 3 up front. Another cage on the rear to protect. Oh, this thing is acting wonky too. Not wanting to stay in, it looks like. I didn't think I was going to be a fan of this Doom buggy. Sometimes Hazardous makes stuff cheap, but this is going to go in here and here. Got that. And so far I'm not a fan of this, but we'll see how it goes. And then we've got like these 2 ammo boxes. We've got this toolkit. Looks like a Jerry gas can. And then we've got, I'm just reading off the instructions here. 1, 2, 3. That here. And then the decals, which I'm not probably going to apply in decals. I might not even keep this ARAH striker. We'll see. And then we've got this weapon here. Just going to have one of these attached to it, looks like. And we've got whatever this is supposed to be. I guess these are like rockets, because I did see these 2 rockets here. So I'm assuming those will go in there. These will go up top, it looks like. And then we've got these, which I had on my OG, which I think I still have. They just bent so bad. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can find them. And then I have this rifle here. Oh, this goes on the front to this other can. So let me put all this together and we'll see the final look of that. Yeah, so this toolkit looks like you've got little pins. I'll pin that in. So let me put all this together. Here we go. So this reminds me of something out of, there's a 1/18th scale. I want to say it was like True Soldier or Sentinel or something like that. This reminds me of. The Big Lot brand had one, I think like an all black like this. I guess like a modernized like buggy. I'm not a real fan of this, man. I mean, it's similar to the OG. I didn't realize how much like flex the old school one had. So it's similar as far as you got the 2 seats, but then they add the 3rd seat. I think Gridiron's making like the retro cannon. I thought I had one myself for this one, but anyway, you've got that here. You got the general like cage, the Doom buggy, and then it's got like this piece here. You got here on the side, you got your tires, a little darker color. You got G.I. Joe here and there. This one had foot pegs. You still have a foot peg right here on this one. There. You've got your antenna here on the original. So here on this one. And then the front, you got the big star with the United States. You've got your buggy lights here and here with the grill. It's got the bounce with the springs per se like the original. And then yeah, right there it says it's got the grease with the numbers like the original. And then yeah, this piece here matches there. So they kept a lot of like stuff, and you can even see like the front end there by the wheel with the axles. And over here it says G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe here. And then since we're missing a foot, because they've added this, so we're missing, they got foot peg here, they got foot pegs on the back here. And then if we flip it around, we've got the exhaust here. Again, hot exhaust, danger. Got the star there. It's got this thing here is here. You got, this one's got a bumper with a tow hook and foot pegs. You can add another guy here. And then this piece is similar there. And then what does that say there? A warning intake cover. Yeah, I think that says that over here too. So they kept a lot of the core You see the rear there is very similar on both. And then here, you've got, they could have probably put foot pegs there, but they didn't. So they got them here on this one. So you got your core feel of the ARAH here. They just obviously extended it and gave you third seats. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I like this one because it's small and compact. This one seems a bit much. But I do like the update. So I don't know, because this is definitely a modern take on the ARAH. I think this is may actually be quote-unquote military vehicle. They got this winch here, workable winch up front. The wheels, the real rubber there. And some guys are swapping out the wheels. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not big on the Joe vehicles. Like, it looks like the ARAH, but it feels like a bit much. Because I do have a buggy, the Tan 3D when I mentioned the Swift. Let's see if I can pull that off the shelf and compare the Swift to this. Because I might see if I can load up my figures. I got a bunch of Action Force figures on the shelf. Let me show you what I got going on. Here's my desert shelf. So I was able to squeeze two vehicles. I made a Cobra Desert Armadillo and a Cobra Vamp. And I got this Swift. So I'm thinking maybe I'll take all these guys. Because I got a ton of Desert Troops from Action Force. Maybe I'll load them up on the Vamp. And now I can try to put the Vamp and the Swift. But let me pull the Swift off and compare the Swift to the ARAH. Here is this Swift, which is loosely based on the ARAH. It's called the Swift Buggy. Tanner 3D created it. And maybe I'll just sell this or give this away. I don't know, we'll see. But as you can see, the ARAH seems to be obviously longer, at least wheel to wheel. If I compare, I mean, obviously this one's wheels are way bigger. Actually, the rear wheels on the ARAH are equivalent, at least in height, to all wheels. I don't know, we'll see. This one seems to be as wide or wider than the ARAH. But I'm gonna have to mess around. I'm gonna have to mess around with that shelf and see if I can get both of them. Because I kind of do like this ARAH. Like, I do and I don't. If I can get it fit on the shelf, maybe I'll keep it. It'd be cool. And that way I can just load this up with figures. Because I can fit 2, 3, well, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially 7. I can potentially put 7 figures and load up this ARAH. Maybe I throw another figure on the Swift. You can see I got Dusty over there. I got version 1 Dusty from the Hasbro release, and then version version 3 that Benny custom made me. But yeah, there's the Swift and the ARAH for comparisons, 3D printed with the Hasbro release. And I was debating on 3D printing an ARAH. So if I 3D print an ARAH, maybe I'll either get rid of that one or I'll get rid of this one. We'll see. But it looks pretty good for a Hasbro release. I think if it was this size, I don't know, maybe I'm being old head, wanting it to look more like the original. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I'm conflicted. Like, it's not, it looks like the original, but it's not. But it's got its own flair, 'cause it's more modernized. But I felt like if it was like the true buggy, like this Swift is more of a true buggy, it would have been pretty cool. So anyway, there is the ARAH with crankcase from 85. So crankcase is awesome. I would definitely keep, I'm collecting the figures. I finally got Snake Eyes retro card, which I'll probably eventually. I'm so far behind right now in reviews. I was out for a week, but I'm caught up with all the figures that have officially been released and are purchasable. So I'm all caught up on that. But yeah, I'm digging the crankcase. Crankcase is awesome. I'm in between on the ARAH Striker, but if you love the Joe vehicles, yeah, definitely pick up this ARAH Striker, because we're not getting too many vehicle releases from Hasbro. If they would have made it this like more compact, this would have been easier retail release. And that's what they messed up too. You can only get this off of, this was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. If they would have made it smaller, I think it would have been easier to be on store shelves as a bigger retail release. There we go, guys. There's ARAH Striker with crankcase. Like, comment, subscribe. JJ out.